What's up? Good afternoon. I don't think there's any good mornings anywhere right now unless you're over in Japan, and it's late at night there too. So good afternoon, good evening to everybody. Welcome to the BitLab Academy stream. My name's Kellam. If this is your first time, I can guarantee you it's not going to be your last time. I'm in a new setup today because I'm traveling, so I'm on a mobile. My desk right now, it's not even a desk, it's a round top on top of a barrel. I'm not joking. Here in Vermont at a cabin in the woods, baby. No, I'm in the cabin out here. We got a big sort of, it's almost like a family. In New York, all your friends are like your chosen family, essentially. Let me go ahead and line up my monitor there. There we go. Where are we at? Let's get a little even. There we go. We do a big gathering every year for the last almost 15 years. This is the last year we're doing it. So I decided I've been held up under a rock for the last 2 years, really transitioning professionally into on the public side of crypto. I've been in crypto since 2015, as those of you that watch on a daily basis know, but I've transitioned into the public sphere, basically doing the YouTube, building out education systems, sharing info and trying to help bring people along, because this is, if I believe in this so much, and I have knowledge about it and I can speak articulately, I should be doing a service of bringing the information and the tools and the strategies and the skills to everybody so that they can participate in this meaningfully and not just jump in and get burned and get out and then tell everybody around them that crypto is a scam. No, for most people, crypto is not a scam. The people that fail typically is because they make really, yes, I'm going to say it, shitty decisions, and they're buying and selling emotionally. So that's what we want to talk about today. The price has fallen a little bit, but we're getting a little bit of a rebound. Price fell. The rebound hasn't even broke that 0.5 fib. It's not even 50% back the way up with that last small little fall. And people want to get very excited, but there is an argument to be made that this could be a bear trap. What is a bear trap? A bear trap is when price falls and it incentivizes bears, it incentivizes emotional traders, the retail, the people that are tuned into their emotions, not tuned into data, to go ahead and capitulate and sell. And what does that do? That puts liquidity in the market. If they're selling, what does that mean? If they're selling, that means somebody's buying. So it traps the bears by pressing it down. They capitulate, they sell, it drives the price down further. Some people get liquidated, price goes even further. And the bulls, the people looking at data, buy, and the price ends up going up. How many people in the room right now has seen the price move up and they're very excited and they don't want to trade emotionally, but they're like, I don't want to miss this move, so they buy. And then the price reverses the other way, or the price starts falling and you're holding on because somebody like Kelly or somebody else told you Bitcoin's a great asset, and it keeps falling. But then you're like, damn it. So you sell, and then the second you sell, it goes up. It's happened to everybody. It does. You're not isolated there. It happens to every single person in the markets at some point. You get triggered by emotionality, and the goal is to have such a strategy around you, such a tool set that you can utilize, and the data points that you look at regularly, that you can basically enact a strategy that you can basically feel those emotions, because emotions never go away. The fear, the greed, I want it to go a little bit further, then I'll take profits, and it only then reverses and you end up taking a loss on that trade. It happens to every single one of us. But the point is, how do we identify if this is a bear trap right now, or if this is a sell-off and we're having a small relief rally up to only continue down further? Well, let's not do a long intro today. Every single person in the room, we got 80 people. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. We're going to do about an hour stream today because I am here in Vermont and there's a lot of other stuff going on in this house. So I'm kind of holding the basement hostage for you, so we can break all this down. So let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Let's go ahead and head over here. If you haven't yet, head over to the BitLab Academy Twitter page right here at Academy BitLab. Look for the gold check, look for the hit logo, hit that follow. Let's get over 3,000. We could do it even today. We got 90 people in the room. If every one of you hit that like button, hit that follow button here on Twitter, I'm sure we could probably get 20 or 30, but hit this retweet. I did a quote retweet. Retweet this, hit the like button. This is how you get entered to win. We draw winners every Friday. So go ahead and get involved with that. And if you haven't yet, go ahead, give me a follow over here at Kellam. It's Kelly, Kellam. Look for that blue check mark. Look for the hit logo. Give me a follow here. Now it's time to dive into what we want to talk about. And that's, first off, what the hell's going on with Bitcoin? if we turn off all of our lines, if we turn off all of our indicators, and we look just at the most basic signal we can, what is that? The price action. Let's go ahead and where is the, I'll just exit it, boom. Looking just at the price action, if you know from the BitLab Academy, if you're not a member yet, you're more than welcome to hop in there anytime. The BitLab Academy courses here on the candles and candle patterns. One of the things throughout this, we also talk a little bit, I think, about it in trading fundamentals, but when we look at price action by itself, not even utilizing any other indicators, any other signals, what we're looking at when we're looking at price action is a visual metric that's mapping out the psychology of the sentiment of everybody in the market over time. So this is, oh my God, we need to get in. We need to get in. We're not sure if it's going to go higher. We're not sure if it's going to go higher. We need to get out. No, yeah, let's get out. Fake out, bitch. And then we drop a little bit and then it keeps dropping. So this is a map of the sentiment of the market. That's what you need to understand. So you need to pay attention when you're getting these consecutive lower lows. And look at this right here. This is, I don't want to turn the thing on right now. Actually, I can go right over here, turn this on right here, go on this chart. If I go here, put on the brush, what I want you to notice here is that we have this slight little rounding here. I have very limited space for my mouse. We have slight little rounding here, right here. And then the bottom, it loses this level right here, which is the previous lows of this range. And it just drops. Now, what's interesting here is people want to, you know, when we zoom in on this, when those of you that look at the 15-minute chart on nonstop or the 5-minute chart, you might have been on the chart earlier today and, you know, maybe say like right here, this is right before we would have gone live at 10 o'clock. And right here, we're seeing this strong, oh my God, we need to go up. Somebody bought here. Somebody, the price action moving up to this level is suggesting that there is a buyers all the way up to this level. And then at this point, the market sentiment, the dynamic of the people buying and selling in the market shifted to predominantly selling. This is why then this moves down. But somebody bought the top of this wick. And why would they buy the top of this wick? This is a very large move on this time frame. I'm looking at the 5-minute, but this is a very large move. We broke this high and there's zero structure. Zero structure that indicates that this is a good buying opportunity. But why do they buy there? Why have you bought there? Why have I bought there? We've all made that sort of purchase before. And you know, as soon as you do it, we can even go down to, I'm about to sneeze. I could go down to a smaller chart. If we could come right here, option V, let's go to the 2-minute. Excuse me. Ooh, sorry. So you see, even on the 2-minute, no structure all the way up to here. Just price going up and then immediately falls off a cliff. Well, let's look at a couple things. What could have given us an incentive or a data point to say, this may be a stupid decision? Well, first off, let's go ahead and delete these lines. First off, we're looking, if we were on the 5-minute, let's kind of go back to it. There we go. On the 5-minute, as this is pressing up, we can see this level right here. Do option J. It's gonna, there's just an area here. This is not an exact level, but we can see right at this level, this is on this rebound, this is a high. So this is a high we need to pay attention to. That's data point number 1. Data point number 2, we have this giant order block right here, this red order block, which suggests that this is probably going to be meeting some resistance the first time or first few times we attempt it. What happens? We don't even make it up to it, rejected. We make it up to it, rejected. We make it up to it again, and we can see if we zoom in here, this is on the candle body closures, lower high. The candle wick, yes, that went a little higher, but there's weakness in this. Momentum is rolling over here. We see this. There's no volume that changed in this area. In fact, right here, where these two price action levels are, that would be right here and right here. This is basically nearly the same level of volume. So there's no change in interest. So we're coming up near a level of a previous high. We're not able to reach it before. We come into a known order block on this level, and we have a double top here. So we have a double top here, and this is just consolidating sideways. So there's a lot of indications that we could have used if we're like, oh my God, this is running. I don't want to miss it if it's now going to go to $100,000. Or first off, it's a stupid thing to ask yourself. Look at things level by level. There's a lot a lot of work that has to be done before the price action can even get up to 38,000, let alone 50,000, which is the golden pocket of the macro top, the 68,400, whatever, down to 15,500. The golden pocket there is $48,000 to $49,000 region. We're not even talking about getting there yet. So let's not even, I think it was, I don't even know who it was. I can pull up the tweet right here. It was Tom Lee. Tom Lee suggested that we could go to $180,000 pre-halving, or before the halving. Now, or by the time of the halving. Now, Kevin Svensson pointed this out. Look at this. This is what the price action would need to look like in some regard to get to that level. There would need to be a complete reversal of every court case from the SEC with an apology letter written and the president enacting some sort of incentive for people to buy Bitcoin to get this kind of price action following this kind of bear market and consolidation. Would I want this to happen? Yeah. Is it anything logical to even assume? Absolutely not. And so let's not think about it that way. Let's not try to buy because we want to catch it before it gets up to all-time highs again. We're not even anywhere near that. Right now, we're contending with the $29,000 to $31,000 region. If we look at this, come back out to the 4 hour, you see this is basically where right here is basically it's a little under 29,000, and this is 31.7. So this is a region that we've been, this is right here. This is a region we've been in, 29.7 to 31.7, a $2,000 range. This is where we were sort of trading in between. If we really want to get a little bit more appropriate, this is really what the range was. And we had a fake out. We had what? A bull trap. We got people to tune into their fear. Yes, even though the price is going up, it's their fear of missing out. Their greed. Greed got people to buy here because they wanted to catch it before it really started running. Well, why not have the conviction to buy here? Because we've seen that this region is a bounce zone. We see this right here. Okay, maybe you don't want to buy here because you don't like what the momentum's doing. Okay, well then we come down again right here, a second test. We have a higher low. There's a smart decision. And we also have, look at this, down here on the momentum. If we zoom in on this, the momentum has a sharp uptick. So this had a large impulse to the downside on the momentum, much smaller impulse. And so what that means is when we're looking at this as it relates to price action, this may not have been the best buy. You could have done it just on the pattern of this coming into a known support level. But if you're a little patient, you would have had another opportunity right here, and your opportunity wasn't the exact same best prices here, but now you have statistics on your side because you have a higher low as well as the momentum coming into your favor. You see what I mean by stacking the probabilities in your favor? Now, where we're at right here, I want to show you something. Everybody, if you watch this show on a regular basis, throw a 1 in chat. If this is your first time here, I completely welcome you. I absolutely welcome you. Everybody else will welcome you. Throw a 2 in chat. Welcome anybody new that's here. But I just want to point out, I was doing TA on BitBoy Crypto last week, like Monday or Tuesday last week, and I essentially mapped out these levels. This 382, this 0.5, and this 618 that's down here. But I mapped out these sort of zones, and I've done it here live on the BitLab show every day for the last week. Even when price was pushing up here, I said, I really still feel like we're going to get something like this. Why? Because we didn't really have any strong impulse. The only thing that contradicted this is that we had the spike in volume right here on this move. That was actually a little not concerning, because I'd love the price to go up. I really would. But in terms of a healthy structure, we see on repeat, we have a push up, pullback, push up, pullback, push up, a little consolidation, push up, pullback, further pullback, push up. This had no pullback. Markets tend to do the same types of things over and over and over. And once you start seeing these patterns, you're going to look back at yourself and be like, man, how is that so blind? And you know why? Because it's like another language. Trading and looking at price action on a chart, it may look, when like somebody like me or anybody else that does this professionally, we see this, it's like we have chart vision. But when you're not used to doing this on a regular basis, Didi, Ray Charles, what's up? Thank you for being here for the first time. I appreciate you. Hit that like button. Join us here. Over 60% of the people that watch on a daily basis are not subscribed, and they're watching every day, but they're not subscribing. They must have a broken mouse. I don't know. I'll forgive you, but get involved, baby. But we can see the price action, this repeat of cycles. We have this consolidation. We did have volume spike up here, but on the same level, if we kind of come back here, turn on all the indicators. Okay, on the same level, let's turn off the BitLab optimizer. Okay. The problem with this is this spike in volume was contradicted by a bearish divergence here on the momentum. What do I mean by this? Higher peak here, lower peak here, and we see right here, lower peak, higher peak. So this is suggesting there's not as much pressure, there's not as much fuel in the car, there's not as much strength to get this up the mountain. Yet this guy, whoever this Navy SEAL wannabe is right here, was like, no, I can do it. And he runs up with the backpack and he gets winded and then falls down. Look how quick this falls down, because this is fast to rise, fast to fall. So we can see this in the charts. We can see it playing out. So this volume did give us some incentive, but the volume wasn't here on the move. You see this right here? This volume was post move. You see this? If you really look into this, this is why you need to pay attention to where things are on the chart. Because if you see, this move didn't have much volume. Okay. Now right here, this small impulse, pullback, small bullish relief, bullish impulse to the upside, pushes up, and look how much volume it took to get it up there, and it made it nowhere. It didn't even make it to the previous low of this 3 candles back. In fact, it got rejected at this massive trend line that we've had all the way from back here. All the way from, let me move this out of the way, all the way from September 2022, going on 10 months now, or 9 months, something like that, somewhere near that. I can't do math. But we can see we have rejection, 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 a bounce, support, 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 rejection, and now this is kind of just chopping in the zone. It's almost lost its effectiveness here, but that's interesting. Now, when we see right here, zooming in on this, let me zoom, there we go. Lost the level, came up, all this volume, which is almost an anomaly comparatively with all the volume here, exponentially more volume, and it could not even make a push. So this is where you know if you did not get out of a long here, if you're swing trading, you're doing very quick trades throughout the day or throughout the week, you're not taking a position where you're setting up for the bull run, which is primarily what I'm focused on now with about 90% of my portfolio. I have about 10%. I'm doing some smaller swing trades on, but I'm waiting for the drops like we're seeing this and identifying more buy zones down here that I'm not going to trade. I'm gonna basically get another buy at a lower price and then watch this resolve back to the upside, or hope that it does. Even if it doesn't, I'll add more below this. But I'm not really swinging the majority of my portfolio right now, swing trading. So we can see right here, if you were swing trading, trying to trade this range and you didn't get out here, remember you tend to have at least one more opportunity at minimum to then actually sometimes make an even smarter move, because or take a smarter trade, because on the second move you're getting a confirmation of either a higher high or a lower low, meaning yes, there's a strong continuation, a higher low or a lower high. You know, essentially seeing here we have a lower high. So this is a push up. Oh, I didn't get out. Pull back. We have this attempt, this relief rally to the upside. It's pushing up into this known resistance zone. And we, right at the peak of this, we look at this, we get this golden, this red diamond right here on the momentum wave. What we could do, let's put an option V here. Let's come over here. Let's go to the 30-minute. I just want to see what this looks like. We get more clarity when you get smaller time frames. If we're trading on the 4-hour, break it down to the 30-minute or the hour. We can see right here, look at this strong symbol right here. This strong symbol right here is indicating that there is a group of multiple signals that we have in the new BitLab intelligence. Everybody that has a BitLab trading stack will be getting this. Is all new, fully integrated trading, basically algorithmic trading indicator package that integrates so many things, from moving averages to dynamic support and resistance zones to volume to momentum to money flow to stochastics and RSI and divergences, everything you could need. And what these symbols are, this shift right here, there's a trend shift. We also have this right here, this potential reversal When it's on top, it means down. When it's on bottom, it means up. We get a strong here, which means there's a grouping of about 4 or 5 different things that have happened in terms of what the price action is doing, where it's at in relationship to the EMA ribbon, where it's at in relationship to this trend signal right here, where it's at in relationship to the volume within the candle, divergences, and when certain conditions are met, then you'll get these. This is why you don't see as many of these strongs on the chart. You don't need to only wait for these, because we see get a lot of these trend shifts right at these peaks. Really great. And these are, I mean, I'm so happy with the new indicator stuff we've been working on. But we see right here, it's falling. So right here, boom, it pushes up. You could have gotten out there. You have the lower high. If it pushes back down, let's actually look at this. I guarantee this is probably near the 618. And look at that. Look at these candle bodies. I'm telling you, I can't make this stuff up. Look at this top to this bottom right here, come up. Look at this, candle closures, right? They got a wick, try to test above it, immediately eaten up back down. Both candle closures below the golden pocket. Got to use these golden pockets. So that was one opportunity to get out of this move. Another one, boom, down. Okay, we get the strong down. We still get a little bit of a relief up. It gets rejected at the trend signal line. That's your last opportunity, and that was a great opportunity, because now you have not only did you have this failed attempt, but now you also have this trend line right here. So that would have given you signal 2. So you have multiple things lining up to tell you. So now where we're at right now, we don't care about that, but hey, I got to break down how these things line up on different time frames, so then we can relate what's happening in today's price action. That's what this is about, bridging that gap from beginner to pro. So coming over here, look at this. We got the strong impulse, and then we actually got a pretty decent move. Pretty decent move here. If you're swing trading that, about a 2% move. Remember, we're looking at the 30-minute chart, so it's going to look different on like the 4-hour. But we could see breakdown gets rejected at the trend signal line, breakdown gets rejected at the EMA. So it's even getting weaker. See that? This pushed all the way through the EMA, all the way up to this rejection. This doesn't even get to the trend signal line. It's also below this yellow line, which is the VWAP, the weekly VWAP. Gets rejected, strong sell-off. And what it's looking like right now, is this a bear trap, or is this going to resolve to the upside? Well, let's go ahead and turn off this fib line. And what I see, we can call this rounding. Sure, this is rounding. And we also have the money flow, this pink right here. Money flow is starting to arc to the upside. But if we really zoom in on this, look at this. Money flow came up and immediately is already rolling over to come back down. So that's giving me a little bit of pause. We have not, we've tested this. We tried to test this a couple times. We've only tested it this one time, this previous high here. We can't even break that. In addition to that, if we want to get down to brass tacks here, we got a trend line right here. Looks like we have a rising channel, kind of. It's kind of ugly. It could be a rising broadening wedge, but it's very, very minuscule. But this is struggling. It's a VWAP right here. You see it's finding trouble on. And in addition to that, we also have this this rising level of resistance that it's getting rejected on. And the candle bodies, we can pay attention to the wicks. Yes, this wick made higher, but look at these candle body closures. The candle bodies are lower. So we're getting on the truth of the move, the real body of the move. We're seeing a little bit of a divergence here on what's happening on the price action. So the weakness. I still think we're going to get a lower move. Now, again, I want to highlight here, one of the reasons why I think we're going to get a move lower is because we had so many different things pop on the news in the last 2 weeks. This is one of the biggest weeks in the history of Bitcoin in terms of the news narrative that was shaped. BlackRock finally gives its stamp of approval for Bitcoin, filing the spot ETF application. Larry Fink going on his little press tour talking about how Bitcoin's an international asset, basically giving the signal to the world, communicating to the world, and essentially also every small family office, financial planners, everybody, even mom and pop, individual retail investors, they listen to people like that. He's saying Bitcoin's actually good. We need to get involved with this. This is smart. This is a hedge against the rest of the market. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call. I'll call them back. But we had the biggest couple weeks in the history of crypto. We also had XRP get the lawsuit, summary judgment, positive, not a security. And what do we see through all this? what we saw through all this, if we look at this on the 4-hour chart, this is what's so important to pay attention to right now. This is, you know, this is about when the ETF thing, the news broke, right? And then we also got the XRP news, which was somewhere about here, right? That was part of the reason why we had this pump up here. Positive sentiment coming into the market. I'm not showing you my screen. Okay, so yeah, screen back up. So we could see right here, this was the ETF news, Larry Fink going all the cable shows, consolidating right up back here below 31,000. And then in addition to that, then we get the XRP news. We get that another attempt higher. It doesn't really do well. There's not enough to sustain it. We get the sell off. The problem is us just having the biggest news narrative, domino effect in the history of crypto. And we failed to break above this known level right here. This key level that we have been fighting for, which is the $31,000 to $32,000 region. We have tapped into it several times. Yes, we are weakening it. We're building resolve, but I don't think the bulls are ready to really take it. Can it happen? Yes. Could somebody announce that they're going in? We could get another big news narrative, whether Elon Musk makes another buy or MicroStrategy buys don't really affect the news anymore because that's just a given. Apple approves Bitcoin payments within their apps, and that would be that would absolutely drive the market up. But barring any big news narrative that really would drive something, as it is right now, looking at the context of the market, this level is yet to be broken. And look at this strong signal right before. That's so damn good. So that being said, we still have positive underlying sentiment in the market. But there's not strong buying sentiment because people are waiting for a little bit of a little bit of the short-term holders to kind of get a little bit washed out. Because people are buying this narrative. There is some retail buying, but there's also pressures on the market that we need to pay attention to. If we come over here, we can scroll down right here, we can see this. And I talked about this a couple weeks ago, maybe last week or so. Guys, let me know if you can hear the music going on in the background. They're setting up the sound system upstairs. I just want to make sure you guys can't hear it. And if you can, you guys party with me. But we need to pay attention to this. Bitcoin's price has gradually declined over the last few weeks, failing to rise above about 30. It's more than 30,000, $32,000. The funding rates indicate that this drop might be due to the futures market sentiment. Well, who's in the futures market? Smart traders, big traders, institutions. We also see the funding rates metric determines whether long traders or short sellers are currently dominant. Positive values, what does this mean? Let's kind of tie this in. We're going to do a little bit of a lesson here. We all need to make sure we're sharpening our swords as much as possible. Everybody that's in here right now, every single person, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. When we're coming over here, we're looking at funding rates. The way you look at this, if this is positive, this means the majority of people are going long. If this is negative, that means the majority of people are going short. Why is this? Because they want to charge the people that are in the majority, and they offset by paying that fee to the people that are in the minority. It helps keep the market balanced. So that way it's more expensive to trade in the direction on futures, on margin, on perpetual futures, on derivatives. It's more expensive to trade in the direction that everybody else is trading, because otherwise there would be no liquidity to pay out those individuals. If every single person was long 10x and the market went up, who the hell is gonna? Where's the liquidity coming from to pay those profits? It wouldn't be there. So you want to, they kind of incentivize, and it helps balance the market. Now, when we come back over to the story right here essentially says the funding rates metric, blah blah blah. We've read that. Considering the recent funding rates values, marketing sentiment is trending relatively bearish after a few months of optimism. Therefore, one of the prominent reasons why the market has failed to keep rallying above 30K is the selling pressure from futures markets. Now, what does this tie back into? This ties back into what I was talking about from before. This ties back into what I was talking about in regards to Tim says this regularly. When we miss the boat, we miss the boat. When institutions miss the boat, they bring the boat back. And now that Larry Fink just gave that ultimate snap of approval, basically said, hey, Bitcoin's good. Every institution on the planet, in some regard, is looking at this and how they can integrate it into their services, especially on the financial services side of stuff. So they don't want to buy as this is going up. They can utilize the tools that they've been utilizing in all the traditional finance industry for the last, however many years, decades. They use futures and they use derivatives to help shape the narrative of where the price can go so they can take the best advantage of the price. You know how they take advantage of that price? They take advantage of you if you're trading emotionally. So let's get back into the charts. We got about 30 more minutes, so I'm gonna wrap up with Bitcoin here in a moment, and we're gonna look at a bunch of TA on a bunch of altcoins. So we got 122 people in the room. Not bad for first time we're doing an afternoon stream. We usually got several hundred, but you know what? That makes every single one of you more special. What music did I DJ? You can find that right here. I don't usually share this, but I'm feeling vibey today. So Bitcoin. This is looking like it's going to be a stair step, likely move down to test this level down here at 28.4. I'd ultimately really like it to see it test this rising level of support, kind of front run this golden pocket right here, which is below this. But I'd like to see somewhere in this region down here of the 27.6 to 27.8, 27.9. So we can actually we can adjust this. You can adjust your TA over time, people. You adjust your TA and your charts based on what they're doing. Now, can it go lower than this? Absolutely, especially considering the fact that this is a rising wedge. Very well. We had the fake out. Look at this. We had the fake out to the upside. It would only be par for the course with Bitcoin for this to have a fake out to the downside to then come back up and then continue on up to the ultimate wonderful highs that we all really want and love. Remember, I drew this out back in January when we were here. This is exactly what's happened. Push up to about $30,000. This is once we broke 25. Pull back, which we did, and we came back up here. This is roughly where we're at right now. We're testing this move right here. The timeline is not on, but the move is on. And pay attention, read all these little dots here, all these little bubbles. And if you're not following me, give me a follow. You don't want to be a hype buyer, buying because the price is high, so it must be good. You're an idiot if you're buying because it broke previous all-time high. You're buying other people, you're basically giving other people profits who bought much lower. You don't want to do that. You want to buy when you're scared as shit, and you remember what I said in terms of use the data. So you go and you look at the data. And you look at what the data says and you say, man, there's a lot of long-term holders. There's no short-term holders anymore, meaning the weak hands, the people that capitulate have gotten shaken out of the market. Long-term holders are scaling in. They're also moving the coins off exchange. And we're seeing a huge sort of increase in the transaction fees and the total number of transactions. There's multiple different metrics you can look at. Adoption rates, all these different things. And you say, yeah, this is a good spot to buy because this is what smart money does. This is why we label this smart money accumulation. We can also see right over here, smart money accumulation. How do they know to buy? They're not just doing it on a whim. They're utilizing tools. And for you to make money like they do, you've got to utilize the tools also. And that's why we're here. Man, I get fired up about this stuff. So let's go ahead. Right here, I'm looking for this to come back down, test somewhere between, let's call it 27.7 to 28.4. Somewhere in this region is my where I'd really like to see Bitcoin come. If this does push up, which it may, if this does push up, just pay attention that it's been rejected twice. And if we go, we can go from the top here, option F, go all the way down to the bottom. And you look at this, it's getting rejected not only at those two other levels that we're looking at, also is getting rejected right at the 382. This is a weak relief. This is weak relief indicating there's likely further downside because we could not even get up to a golden pocket, which also has a tendency to potentially reject from. So if it rejected all the way down here at the first fib, that's showing some weakness in the bulls. The bulls tried and the bears just bit their legs off, said, no, I don't know, sucker. And so we see this. Now, if this makes another attempt up, we want to make sure I'm not buying this level. I had something on my foot. It's not a centipede, it was a fly. Whew. I want to see what happens once we get back up to this 29.6 zone because this is a golden pocket. Now let's come over here. Let's look at Ethereum. Come on, baby. Look at Ethereum. All right, Ethereum also had the similar sort of trajectory, downtrend. We can see this on this flip of this trend signal, red. We also have this dynamic resistance zone, right? This shaded area. It's rejecting in it. Push up, a little fake out. rejected in it, rejected right here at the VWAP both times. See this, the yellow line? This is a weekly VWAP. Rejected again, came back down. God damn it, get out of here, fucking fly. Sorry, I apologize about my mouth. Okay, so we can see that this is looking stair step. It's finding resistance right at this VWAP. This tested up with the wick all the way up here to the top side of this trend signal line, got rejected. Now, it looks like, if we look at this, this is a spinning top. What does this indicate? A spinning top, as you would know, anybody that's a member of BitLab Academy, going through the candle patterns and the candles course specifically, where we talk about different shapes of candles and what they mean and how they give you information about what the narrative of the dynamic between bulls and bears is. And this is a bullish impulse to the upside because we see it moving up. And in fact, we see the momentum increasing because the candle body is larger. Now the candle body is smaller and we see a wick to the upside and a wick to the downside showing neutral. So if this is bullish and now this is neutral, what happens in markets and every aspect of markets is things are cyclical. If this is bullish and then it goes neutral, there's a high likelihood that bearishness is coming in. So we need to pay attention to that. And we're also coming not only on this candle, we see this candle is showing a narrative flip here, but we also see it's coming into the weekly VWAP and it's losing bullish structure coming into this dynamic resistance zone. In addition to this, let's kind of come down to the 1 hour. Let's see if there's any further alpha we can sort of look at here. In addition to this, look at this. We've got the momentum wave is rounding right here. If we double click on this, I can pull up my stochastics and RSI. We can see, look at that. Double clicking on this. Stochastics angled down. It got way overheated. It got overheated, by the way. Look at this. Got overheated and it got overheated here, and yet we have higher price action, excuse me, here. That's indicating weakness. Okay? And we see this, the RSI was kind of chopping in a zone. It's working its way down. Now I'm gonna be telling you all more about this later, but you see all this stuff down here on the bottom right. There's a VWAP, stochastics, RSI, the trend wave, and the stochastic topped and bottom. There's a second trend wave here too. This basically gives you a neutral, bullish, or bearish. So you can see when you have a grouping of multiple signals here on the BitLab Trend Fuel oscillator, when they're majority bullish or majority bearish or uncertain, because we're getting green and red. That's basically not a bullish sign, right? You want to see, just like anything, strong confluence between multiple signals saying bull or bear. Now, this is looking much like Bitcoin was in terms of leg down, fake impulse to the upside, got rejected the VWAP. See this right here? Down, came back up. Now, we did break this VWAP. This is only saving grace here, but we weren't able to take this level right above us, which is the previous lows of this most local range. So we're losing our steam right here at this level, and the momentum's rolling over, which means we're about to have less fuel. We could not break this before, and now we're about to have less fuel. What does that indicate to you? That indicates that it's likely, if we have less fuel and we could not break this range before, are you going to be able to climb up the mountain now with less energy and less fuel? Probably not. In addition to all that, lower highs. This is indicating to me that we have this trend. Oh, what'd I do? This is indicating to me, that was a total accident. That was an accident too. But this is indicating to me that we have this sort of trend line right here, that we want to see the price action hold above this. And if we were to take a trade on this, and I'm not suggesting anybody do that, but if you were trying to take a trade on this, then losing this level here is probably an indication that we're probably going to get another continued move to the downside. This also is a rising wedge. It looks, now it's a rising channel. Could be a little bit of both, because that is kind of a rising wedge with a fake out. But essentially what we can see right here is that as price action breaks down below this level, this is when you know that you already have the set level that gives you the signal beyond all the other confluence that you're seeing with the momentum, the RSI, the stochastics, all the things combined. And then you have this determinable sort of level right here, a line in the sand that says, okay, the signals say it's likely very bearish. I'm not going to take a trade until there's a certain line in the sand that's breached. And this is that line in the sand. And then on this line in the sand, how do you determine what the next level down is? Well, let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit. That's on the 1 hour chart. Double click here. So look at this. We're trying to bounce at this level. I would think that Man, these damn flies. Come on, guys. I would think that if this loses this level, it's probably coming down into this region, this 1822. It's like horse flies in here. I probably look like I'm on crack. Now, what we can also do is take this move right here from the bottom to the top. That's not gonna work. Okay. Sometimes you experiment. Okay, look at this. So this move right here from the bottom to the top, and I have the fib extensions on. This gives me some levels below. We've already come down here. Look at this. We tapped this 1.382. We came back up, rejected at the one. What was that? No, it's a 786. Now, if we continue on down, look at this. The 1.618 and the 1.786 is perfectly surrounding this level that I drew based on price action. So this gives me the indication that the math narrative about how things could play out and actual price narrative about where things have played out previously is lining up. So this is giving me a stronger indication that if this price level does break, that we're probably coming down here to 18, another $20 down or so, which is not that much. That's the next level I'd be looking at. If we lose that level, then I'm looking down here quite a bit lower, which would be down here at about 1788. That's what I'm saying. If we do push up, we've got to take this level right here, the 1866. If we take that, we've got a lot of work to do between this level and the top of this side of the range. Things are looking like they want to pull back a little bit though. And remember, we don't have the news narrative on our side now because the bullish momentum that was provided from all that bullishness in the news narrative has evaporated because they made their attempt. They didn't break the key level that needed to break. So now it's like, okay, well, we're going to wait to see what happens. And it's going to take a little bit of time to either consolidate sideways here or slowly work our way back up, or the bears just not doing anything because there's not enough bears. So we kind of have to let the narrative see. And you see on this one, this is neutral and very bearish. So on the trend, the trend fuel. So that's what I'm seeing on Ethereum. Now, Cardano. Cardano is looking, I mean, just as weak as the others. This is concerning because it looks like we have a descending level of resistance here, flat level of support. What does this remind you of? Come on, everybody. What does this remind you of? This reminds me, if I think about that, that reminds me of, let's go to this chart right here. That reminds me of this bad boy right here. Look at this. This looks just like Cardano does right now. This, of course, is on a much larger time frame because look at this. We have this descending triangle, flat level support, descending level of resistance, but we also have this larger peak. Where's my brush? We have this larger peak right here that's actually above, and then we form the this triangle. Now, if we look back, what does Cardano look like right now? Oh, look at that. Looks almost exactly the same, minus not having the M top. And maybe if we get down to the 4 hour or something or smaller time frame. Let's go 30 minute. So this is okay. On the 30 minute, we can see it's shaped exactly the same. Man, look at this. It's looking so damn good. I'm loving our new indicators, man. So if this were the case, what does that mean? If this were the case, let's go ahead and turn off the BitLab volume. Let's turn off the intelligence. Let's go over to the 4 hour. Let's look at this. So if we come here, oh, we don't need that. We're going to do a move from this, option F, to the top side here. So this has, and I have my fib extensions on. In order to do that, double click on your fib, and you can add your 1.618, your 1.382, your 1.786, whatever you want to add. You can also all the way up, you know, I have 2.618, 3. So I can see really large extensions. And what this does is then it gives me these extrapolations that go further beyond the scope of what's happening. So we did this fib, but because of this, you see it gives, based on this move, where a fib level would be in relation if this were to break down. So if this were to break down, we can also kind of go like this. So we have this line here. We have this sort of target based of, you know, basically the measurement here. this would come all the way down to 27 cents. But even if that were to happen, I don't think that particularly is going to happen. We can see these intermediary sort of stops along the way. The fib, is this lined up? What I want to do when I see these fib extensions or any fib ever is you don't just draw a fib and say that's the area. Look at the fib and then see, if you see how I have my cursors on my screen so I can look all the way across, up and down. This way I can look without having to move my mouse over here. I can see if this lines up with anything. Well, let's look. This looks like it's almost like the perfect median of all this price action here. In fact, this was about a rejection zone, support zone, rejection, support. So this 1.382 is probably going to be the target that I'd be looking at for at least the first target. Because remember, I like to do breaking up my entries and exits into threes, called laddering your entries and exits. So it helps you diversify your risk. It spreads the price action of where you're going to put all your money into a trade. Rather than that, break it up so you average the best price of an entry and exit anytime you're taking a trade. So as this breaks down and we lose this level, we can see from this Fibonacci extension that this comes into the zone where previous price action has made all this level of interest of both support and rejection. And then we have the next level here, the 1.618. Does this, yep, look at that, support right here, rejection right here. So these two levels I'd really be looking at for Cardano to come down and test if we lose this level. That would be 28.9, which is not that far down, and 28.3. But it doesn't feel that far down. How far down is it in percentage? We care about percentage, not like it looks close. That's a 5% drop. That's a 7% drop. The 1.786, 9% drop. So you can see, stop looking at the price action, use the data sets and the confluence of the multiple different signals of different types, and look at the percentages that you're going to win or lose or gain or give away. Who cares about the dollar values or the cents? Or that doesn't freaking matter. Compound those 2, 4, 8, 10% wins all the time. Sometimes you'll get a 40%. Sometimes you'll get a 200%. But if you're not willing to take a trade based on 3%, then why do you deserve a trade that gets you 30%? If you can't master the small trades, you're gonna have a lot of trouble with the hard trades. Let me just go through chat real quick. Make sure. Seeing everybody in the house, all the truly OGs here. Shout out to all the OGs and shout out to everybody new in chat. I appreciate you being here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. Now let's go ahead and look at this. If this were to go the other direction, we just looked out the downside. I am not a bear. I look at the data. I just mapped out, because I am bullish, I mapped out what the bearish price action would be first. So I had that in my mind as a possibility so I can set up a strategy around it if the trade doesn't go my way. In reality, this is not near the apex of this descending triangle. And so this is likely to break to the upside. But considering that Bitcoin is seeing a little bit of bearish pressure on it, this could weigh down on alts. But we're seeing a little bit of a weird separation right now with what's happening with alts and Bitcoin because of the news that came in with XRP in the case. So XRP is not a security. The alts are, everybody in the alt community is ready for this stuff to move. And it's not quite doing it yet, but is it going to hold up stronger comparatively now that we have that narrative in the mix? Well, we're coming down. We have the rounding bottom here. We found support. You can make a little bit of noise. It's okay. I have a noise gate. Okay. I have a noise gate on my thing. Yeah. Yeah, I'm live streaming for a couple hundred people right now. So we can see that this is coming down into a known level. This is rounded out. It's found support here. But what we want to do now is look at where the stochastics, so the orange line here, are the stochastics very high or very low? If we're looking at this, let me save this real quick. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'll just go right here. Go to MACD, RSI. We want to see the stochastics really low if we're expecting a move to the upside. This is showing things have cooled off sufficiently. The engine's not overheated. They put gas in the car. But we want to see this in concert with the RSI starting to angle the upside. In this case, it looks like we have a descending, come on, bastard. There we go. We have a descending level of resistance. It's kind of obscure, but at least the trend is like this. We can kind of extrapolate this out, kind of go like this. We have, at least from these 2 points we can. This one is a little obscure, but We have these two sort of points here that this is rejected off twice. We have this moving average right here. This is getting rejected now, but this is okay. Things are coiling up. If this makes this move, breaks this level and breaks this level, and we see that the stochastics have already reset all the way down here, we want to now see the money flow come back to the upside. So we want to see these things. We can see things starting to set up because you'll see one indicator do it and then the next and then the next. You're not just going to all of a sudden see them all doing it and just take the best trade, because that means you're not really looking at things and being aware of what's happening. You're being a victim to your emotions, which means you're allowing yourself to donate money to somebody else can buy a boat. And that's not what you're supposed to be doing if you're trying to make your portfolio grow. So in this case, we see the momentum. The momentum's got the green diamond here. It's rolling over. We also see here that the money flow is a little static here, but it's trying. This looks like it's trying, but based on this move here, this doesn't look like it's going to go like this, right? You can kind of take this sort of moves like a wave, right? So there's going to be a little bit of time here for on the fastest level for this to happen. So if this were the case, that's another 4 days, just in the best scenario, for the money flow to really get in our favor. So we're using time analysis as well as the indicators and structure and data all together to make these decisions. Now, this very well could, remember, because Bitcoin looks like it may be taking another fall. If that were to happen, this may just have an expand like this. You see this rolling over and then expansion. This is rolling over. It still could have that expansion to the downside. If this does bounce here and go to the upside, I would want to see it take out this level here at basically 31 cents. Yeah, take out at 30.8. But I'd really like to see it break this level here, which is about 31.1. But then we have this right above us. So there's a lot of work to be done for Cardano, and it is at a known level. This structure is indicating to me there's likely going to be a fall. Although I'm always a perma bear inside, I'm looking at these lower levels for that final liquidity washout before we actually get running to the upside. Now let's look at, trying to think of some of the coins that you all said. Let me scroll back. How's everybody feeling today, man? Everybody throw a 1 in chat if you're feeling good. Oh, I see somebody's in here from South Africa. What's up? Matic. You guys wanted some Matic. Man, there's like 8 flies flying around me. Do I smell like shit or something? These flies are so big. I'm not gonna lie. These flies are so big. When they fly by my face, I can feel the wind from their wings. You are the wind beneath my wings. All right, Matic. This is not looking super healthy. Is there going to be a saving grace? Looks like it's a bit of a falling wedge. See, top here, bottom, bottom, bottom. This is actually looking pretty decent. This looks scary. Then you look at the patterns, and the patterns show that the bears are coiling into not having as much pressure. This is what this means when you have a falling wedge. Falling wedges tend to break out to the upside. However, with smaller markets, and remember, Matic is a smaller market cap coin comparatively to Bitcoin and exponentially comparatively with global equity markets. So although this tends to, with most assets, break out to the upside, there's no reason why this can't fake everybody out, come out to the downside and test somewhere in these sort of ranges here, right? Test and then come back up and then basically do something like that. So although this is a bullish formation, because of the narrative of the market and all the positive momentum has kind of been eaten up and then didn't follow through, there is likely some bearishness coming into the market, regardless of us seeing this bullish structure. Does that mean the bullishness can't happen? No. So we can also look at those levels. If we bounce here, the next level up, we want to get through this weekly VWAP line when this kind of extrapolates out. It'll probably be something like this. We want to break this, which should also be probably in line about with breaking this too at 72.9, 72.7. And then of course we have this level right above us right here, which is 73 cents. If we break that, we also have this massive order block right here, which is suggesting there's some resistance in this zone, which makes sense because it's right at this level. If we take into this level, there's no reason that this is just going to absolutely moon unless we get a narrative shift, something new in the market that says, oh my God, the sentiment's on fire because this is freaking awesome. It can happen, so be prepared for it, but you can't plan on it. That's the point. So we can see if this does come up here, I expect this likely to come up and reverse course probably about here. Why? Because this is the previous lows. That's how you can see where the likely trouble is going to be in the price action. Likely come down, test this. Then I hope we hold this, and then we can talk about breaking this level right here. And that's a confirmation that this is likely going higher. That's the bullish case. But what's the bearish case? If we lose this level, what levels do we look at? What do we do when we're trying to identify levels? Well, we look left, or we put cursors on your mouse like I have on mine, and you can see where these things line up. So we can see right here, this is a high and a low. What do I mean? It's a high and a low. High, low. That means it's probably a pretty good level to be watching. Two sort of zones right here, a lot of zones right here actually, option J. These are the two levels I'd be watching because we are right now already breaking through this level, option J. You see that? We've already lost this previous low, so let's ignore that right now. That's going to be a time for another day. You bastard. There we go. All right. So now we can go, this is going to be too large of a fib, I can already tell. Oh, it's actually not that bad. Yeah, this is good. So look at this. So now we have a fib on this move, low to high, and we can see that when we move this down, this is, I can't even see that because of the 1.618. So this line right here, which is this rejection, this support, damn fly, this rejection here, we can see this is also the 1.618 fib extension from this prior move, gives us an idea of where price action could go and have a little bit of trouble or find support, you know, whether you're going up or down. In this case, probably find a little bit of support here, and this would be down at 69 cents, 2 cents down. Next level down would be basically in this block between the 1.786 and this other previous price action highs and lows, and this would be down at 67 cents. If we lose that level, then I think that we're coming into this zone right here, which is going to be down at 65 cents. I think, even though I'm calling for some lower targets, and this is based on what Bitcoin is currently doing. This is an old chart from a long time ago. Based on what it's currently doing, if we draw this fib, remember, down here at 618, this is 27.3, but I was calling for somewhere in here, 27.8, this sort of zone. This is still stair-stepping to the upside. And in this case, we'd have a much smaller pullback, which means the bears are not able to take the price down as far, which means the market makers and smart money were really just trying to get the price action to push down so they could get better prices. So this is people being, I don't want to use the word, people being tricked out of their funds that are selling to get to these levels. And then there's going to be liquidity buying that up. That's the bullish case. Yeah, let's hit those emojis. Make those emojis fly, baby. I'm loving each and every one of you. So if we do this, if we bounce somewhere in these zones, and that's great, because we can also see right here, option F, all the way to the top. Do it from the candle body. Look at this, price action comes down, almost front runs this golden pocket. So this is kind of the norm, and it's not gonna happen every time, but it's fairly highly hit rate on crypto. It'd be very bullish if we bounce anywhere in here and came back up and worked our way up and broke this high here at the 31.8. So that's what I'm seeing, guys. We can do a couple more coins. This is gonna be Super Turbo TA. Super Turbo TA brought to you by Kelly Kellam. So here we go. 3-day chart, 4-hour chart. This is what we want to see. Okay, this was let's do a option F from the bottom to the top. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Came down to the 0.5. We can also do it from here and see what this level is. This came down to the 382. Let's do it from the top here. So this is pushing it, working its way down to this golden pocket zone. Now, if we lose this level, then, you know, creating a zone. This low, and then this bounce here, and this bounces here, this bounces and breaks here. So now we can see, and here, if we come down to this level and lose this, this is probably the area I'd be looking at. Strong accumulation will probably come in at 58 to 61 cents. If we're able to take this back to the upside, we have to break the 85 cents, and then I think we'd be testing $1. But as it stands right now, look at this momentum waning off. The news narrative is matriculated. Everybody knows about it. Now the question is the possibility with XRP is higher than many of the other ones, is that when banks start announcing that they're integrating, or there's a new press conference, press releases, or that sort of stuff, I think we will start seeing that. Whether it's going to be anytime soon or early next year, that's going to be something that's going to really drive up XRP every time it happens. When JP Morgan announces the integration of Ripple, of XRP, when Wells Fargo, when Deutsche, all the banks, and that will be something that does happen in sometime in the near future. Let's go ahead and look at Avax, and that's going to be the last coin. And then I got to go because I'm holding this room hostage. I love each and every one of you. I got some Avax the other day. You know where I bought Avax? I bought it right down here at about 1270. I think I got it at 1278, 1280. And where is that? Look at that, bottom of a wick. I bought it right here. And look at this coming back up. I took a little bit of profits. I told you I was swing trading some of the small amount of small percentage of my portfolio. Now this did make some moves, but what has it really accomplished? When you say it's pumping, okay, well, how is it pumping in relationship to the pattern that is in? Because the pattern shows all it did was retrace up to resistance. So now it's at resistance. This was a nice little gain here. The question is, when can this break through? Because this not only is at this level, look at where my cursor is. This level is also perfectly in line with where these lows are, where they consolidated. So we want to see this level broken. If this does get rejected, let's kind of zoom out. Let's look at the 4 hour. The momentum's trying to come up, but I bet if we come down to the 30-minute, I bet it's coming down. Look at that. So you see how I'm looking at that 4 hour? I can see this is coming up, but then the momentum's starting to curve. So I could tell coming down to the smaller time frame that we're probably getting a peak in the momentum, and it's probably starting to roll over to the downside. Strong impulse on volume, and then no follow through into this level. How could you expect to break it with no follow through of volume? So let's go to BitLab Intelligence. So yeah, this is if we're able to hold this level, I mean, basically where we're at now, maybe we'll attempt this again, but this is looking like it's probably going to lose this, come back, and I'd be looking at coming back down here into the 1310 sort of range. If we're able to bounce up here and break out of this, then we could talk about higher targets, maybe testing up here into the, first we're going to test here at 1350, and then up here into the 1375. But that's what I'm seeing. That's all I got. I love you, each and every one of you. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. Make sure you head over to my Twitter page right here at Kellam. You can see that. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you head over to, make sure you spell that right as well, by the way. A lot of people spell it wrong. Make sure you're hitting that retweet, hitting that like button, following us at BitLab Academy. And if you haven't yet, check out the bitlabacademy.com page. We've got all these courses in here. We're working a lot on a bunch of stuff. I got some new partnerships coming in, some new integrations, some new courses. It's nonstop here. I love you all. That's all I got. Everybody have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow at the regular time, 10:15 a.m. Eastern time, right here at BitLab Academy. Big love, over and out. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in to bitlabacademy.com. Hit that like button, sucker.